Hey there, this is episode 6 of my Bayonetta series. And as this is episode 6, that means that we are now a third of the way into this series. I will be releasing 18 episodes in total, one for each chapter. And this chapter, The Lost Holy Grounds, was one of the harder ones. It's also one of the longer ones. I think it's about 18 minutes in total. And because it's so long, that means that if you do mess up at one of the later fights, you will have to redo the entire thing, because the Bayonetta save system is very cruel. If you make a mistake, it saves that. If you complete a fight without meeting the requirements for combo or for time, the game will save that and you will have to redo the entire chapter, as you can't load an old save. And this is what makes Bayonetta so frustrating for some players. If you want to complete it, this is probably the toughest thing you have to get used to. What I do, I like to cheat a bit by backing up my save after a really tough battle, a really tough fight. Like if I do one of the later ones that has taken me like 20 minutes, then I will just exit Bayonetta and back up the save, so that I don't have to redo anything from before that fight. And that has worked pretty good for me. It removes a lot of the frustration that many players probably have. Yeah, but anyway, we are already on the third fight, which is an Alfheim with the condition use witch time. And these are pretty fun, because you don't usually get to use witch time in non-stop. But here we are, and I don't think this was a tough one. This chapter has some tougher fights later on, but right now it's not that difficult, I think. Now we are fighting 3 fearless and fairnesses, and the toughest part about them is that they won't wait for the other ones to finish attacking. They will all attack you at once sometimes, so you have to be prepared for all of them to attack. Like that, I was just finishing a torture attack on one of them, and the other one instantly swooped in for attack. So you have to be very careful and very prepared for everything on these fights. And it really helps usually to try to target one before the other, so you just have 2 at once. And you won't do damage to them while you're out of witch time, so you just have to wait for them to attack, so that you can deal damage. But I don't think there's anything more after this fight for this verse. And it should be it after the next time he attacks. And there. Oh, right, yeah, this one. Yeah, and now we get 3 joys, probably one of the hardest enemies in the game. I forgot about this actually. Yeah, I remember actually this was one of the harder ones because it's so long. And as I said before, if you mess up now, you will have to redo at least just this fight, and if you mess up the combo requirement, you will have to redo everything until this point. But fortunately I did not, so I did not have to do that. And there we go. And pure platinum basically just means that you meet all the requirements for combo, time, and of course getting no damage. So if you do meet all the requirements for that, you will get a pure platinum, the highest rank. And you get a pure platinum for a chapter by getting a pure platinum for every fight in that chapter. The tough part about these requirements are that the game doesn't really say what they are to you, so you will kind of have to just guess sometimes. I mean, it can be a bit hard to know if you have met these requirements or not. And now one of them is gone, which means I can just focus on the Fearless. I think I'm gonna use the Torture attack, yeah. If they have less than half of their health left, you can use a Torture attack to easily get rid of them. But this fight is not over yet, we still have to defeat these angels before we get our rank. Of course, pure platinum. Right, this one. Yeah, we have to fall through all of these decorations. And after this, there is the fight against the harmonies, and after that, the 3 joys. Or maybe the joys were first. Joys are pretty tough actually. They're basically just like an enemy version of Bayonetta, because they have about the same moves that Bayonetta does. So the fights against them are always pretty scary. And here comes the harmonies. And as I said in the last chapter, I think they are not too difficult at all. You just try to build enough combo points. Use the whip round attack, this one. And we are about halfway into this chapter, I think. Anyway, now we are fighting 2 Ardors, which are pretty simple enemies. They're not really the most complicated or the most difficult. I think I'm going to start doing my commentary like this a bit more, where I'm not really talking that much. I will say something when I have something that I think is interesting to say, but usually I think I will just show the gameplay without any commentary, because honestly I don't have enough things to say to cover the whole video. Not with a video like this. That's 18 minutes in total. Some shorter fights or videos I might be able to do commentary the entire way through, but not this one, I think. And this one, stay in the air for 30 seconds. I have no idea how I did this one, I don't really remember. I think I trapped one of them in the air somehow, and then I kept pulling myself towards him. I'm not sure, we'll see now. I think what I'm doing right now is tearing through their armor, and the less armor they have, the more likely they will be to get pulled when I use the whip. Right, which is what I'm doing now. Because this guy has almost no armor left, and I can keep pulling him up and jumping on top of him. And then when there's 14 seconds left, I'm using that torture attack, which takes up a lot of time anyways. So right, that was my strategy. And it's not really that difficult, you just beat them until they have almost no armor left, then you pull them up with the whip and jump on top of them. And we're now just fighting one Fearless, which is very easy when there's just one of them. And here's one where there are limited kicks and punches. Which means that you should focus on trying to make your moves as powerful as it could possibly be, by charging the sword attacks and by holding down the attack button for the kill core. Which means that you will shoot with a rocket launcher at them. This way you can maximize damage for as few moves as possible. And we are now nearing the end of the chapter, with the first fight against Inspired, this dragon thingy. And they are usually ridiculously easy. I mean, they just stare at you and occasionally swing their tail like this. So you just keep on attacking them until they die. And we are fighting one more inspired, this time without any cutscene at the end. Like I said, they are usually easy. I destroyed him within a couple of seconds, literally. 12 seconds. And by using the whip, spin around attack on enemies like this, when there are a lot of them, you usually can also kill them all within a couple of seconds, while also building up a lot of combo. So that's why the whip is very useful usually. And here is the final fight. One more fight against Jean. The one that I fought once at the beginning of the game, in the second chapter, and now for a real boss fight. And even though it didn't really took that long in this recording, because I did it perfectly, I think it took me quite a long time in total to beat her. Because of the weird camera angles and her very fast attacks and her continuous dodging, and yeah, she's just overall very difficult fight. But she doesn't really look difficult in this recording because I did it so fast. But otherwise, she is not at all an easy boss fight. The Lost Holy Grounds. The longest chapter thus far, and probably the longest one for a while. And right, I should record the next episode as well now. Yeah. Well, I'll see you then. So, bye.